Hello there, my name's Annette with Sunbeam Fabric Art. Welcome to my channel. I'm working my scraps by color for 2025, and today I'm working with blue scraps. I saw a cool picture of a quilt online that was called, I think it was Waterfall or something like that. It's where you have little strips of fabric that you cut a 45-degree angle and then flip them around opposite ways and join them back together. And if you do your darks and lights correctly, you'll get this waterfall type look. So I needed a lot of long strips to make this, but none of my strips seem to be light enough to have nice contrast. I found this white and blue fabric in my stash, and I'm going to use that as my light fabric. What you see me doing here is checking on the lengths of my shortest strips. So I am going to be pressing this out. I'm going to be cutting 2.5-inch strips, and I'm going to be cutting these strips 8 inches long. Once I have my strips cut into 2.5-inch widths, I subcut them to 8 inches each. Next, I am lining up the 45-degree angle on my ruler. I can either angle it on the top side of the strip or the bottom side of the strip. The important thing is that all cuts are made exactly the same way. For me, it was easier to line up that diagonal line on my ruler with the bottom edge of my strip. I'm lining up the corner of my ruler with the right edge of that strip, and then I'm cutting that 45-degree angle. So I could keep track of how many units I had. I cut 8 darks and 8 lights alternately. And I wanted to show you quickly why it's important to cut them all the same way. We're just going to be flipping the darks and matching them up with the lights on that angle and stitching them together. Now I wanted to show you a little problem I came across. So when I folded over my white fabric, my light fabric, to cut the strips, I forgot I needed these all to be right side up. So half of my first 8 or 16 were half right side up, half wrong side up. The nice thing about this white fabric is it looks pretty good on both sides. It looks almost the same. You can just barely tell which one is the wrong side. So I just left it, and then I recut correctly from here on out. I continued cutting out 8-inch strips and 45-degree angles until all of that background fabric was gone. Put all the leftovers back in the blue bag for now. Next, I simply sat down at the machine and chain pieced these together, sewing a background fabric together with a print fabric of a darker shade. Now, if you've never done sewing on an angle like this before, you want to do a couple of test strips. And my first one did not come out quite the way I wanted it to. I need a little overlap at the beginning, about 1/4 inch, and I need a little tail sticking out at the end, about 1/4 inch. When the seam is pressed open, these 2 strips should be in perfect alignment. This first unit that I tested did not come out right, so I did rip out the seam and redo it. Here's a look at the corrected seam, which did come out correctly. The first time I was off a little bit on how much dog ear I had hanging over. It wasn't quite 1/4 inch. I also changed out my foot on my sewing machine for a 1/4 inch guide. Then I chain pieced the entire stack. Next, I broke all the chains and I started pressing these units open, but I quickly realized those dog ears were going to be a problem, so I stopped and trimmed off all the dog ears. Then I pressed the units. Next, it was time to sew these units together into columns. I'm going to be making 3 columns, and each unit I need to flip the opposite way before stitching to the next unit. For this first column, I'm starting with light at the upper left side of the column. For the second column, I'm going to be starting with dark at the top left of the column. I found it easier to do one column at a time, so you'll see that I broke the chains each time and just did one column at a time. This way I could make sure my orientation was right and that the top left of each column was alternating. Here's a look at the 3 columns near the top where they will come together. You can see the top left of column 1 is light, the top left of column 2 is dark, and the top left of column 3 is light again. And this makes that waterfall going through the quilt. I was at the beginning stage of sewing these columns together, and I tried pinning a few of them, and then I realized I really needed to press these first. So what I did was I pressed columns 1 and 3 one direction. I pressed column 2 the opposite direction to make nesting seams a little bit easier. Another issue that made me rethink what I was doing here was some of my 8-inch units were not exactly lined up, so I decided I needed to trim the right and left sides of all these columns after I did the pressing. Once I got that done, I did break out my clips and I clipped all these seams together. This is really the best way to get a nice result where the seams do match up properly. Once I had these 3 columns joined together, I got out my measuring tape and I measured what I had so far. I could already tell it was not going to be as large as I would want a completed quilt for donation. I went back to my bag of blue scraps and decided to start stitching some things together and make a border. I took a look at some of the things I already had. I had some leftover strips of hourglass blocks. I had some leftover scrap strips. So I measured all these to see what I actually had already ready to go. Next, I started sewing pieces together just to see what I could come up with to make this quilt larger. I was sewing small strips together, long strips together, short strips together. I just didn't know what I was going to need at this point. It looked like I was going to have some nice long strips, so I did keep sewing long strips of similar width together. I drew out a little plan of a measurement just to see how big I wanted this to be and what I would need. I spent about 5 or 10 minutes with these calculations, but I don't want to make you watch that. Here is the final result of what I came up with, and I kept this main sticky note right on top of my stack so I could keep referring back to it. So what I decided to do was add borders, extra borders on each side. I did 2 opposite sides first, and then I went back and did the other 2 sides. I'll leave a note in the description with the measurements and exactly what I added on each side. I really like the way these scrap quilts turn out when I alternate scrappy strips with white 2.5-inch strips. Once I finished adding the borders to make this quilt the size I wanted, I pressed all these borders nice and flat, and then I trimmed all 4 corners. I took the time to bag up the rest of the blue scraps, which I hope I will be able to use up in one last blue quilt. Here is a look at this finished quilt top. I added a nice wide border on the sides, a wide strip set, and on the top and the bottom I added a couple of narrower strip sets. I really like the way this looks like a waterfall, just water running downhill. It's pretty cool. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you back again real soon.